Hello everyone, welcome to Geology Concepts. We are into the second topic, second video of this current affairs series in which we are covering the current affairs from the 17th of July to the 24th of July. This is the second video in this series, right? And in this video we are going to cover these topics which are in front of you, like first is immunization and the last is right to repair. So all this topic we will be covering one by one, moving ahead, and we are going to see which topic is the first one. Let's go ahead. Immunization is basically, it gives you the ability to fight the foreign bacteria or virus, right? So the DPT vaccine, why is in this news? Because of the corona vaccine and corona pandemic, lot of vaccination drive that was going around the world has been impacted because of this corona pandemic. So now what is DPT vaccine? Around the world, these three diseases are very deadly, like they cause a lot of deaths and morbidity. So to fight this thing, we have a DPT vaccine, right? So for this DPT vaccine, D stands for diphtheria, there is a disease caused by virus, pertussis, which is again a disease, then tetanus, which is again a disease. So let's see all of them one by one. So the first thing, DPT vaccine there is a vaccine. So it's a class of combination vaccine. There's actually one single vaccine is there for all the three diseases. That's why it is called combination vaccines against three infectious diseases in humans: diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. The vaccine components include diphtheria and tetanus toxoids and either killed whole cells of bacterium that causes pertussis or pertussis antigens, right? So this is actually, DPT is a combination vaccine which works against three diseases: diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. So this is how it is. Let's see what diphtheria is. Caused by a bacteria which is called Corian bacterium diphtheria. See, to read even is this difficult because the long name of this bacteria is not very common to us. It is contagious, which is important to know because this disease is contagious. Coughing and sneezing and close contact is enough to have this contagious disease have spread it. Target population is 1 to 5 years. I mean, this bacteria targets small kids, which is very important things to remember. See, your examination covers a lot of questions from science, and that's why I have covered this topic. So that's why this topic is here. Then comes tetanus, which is caused by again Clostridium tetani, which is again a bacteria. Contagious? No, tetanus is not contagious, but pertussis, also known as whooping cough, is highly contagious, right? Contagious, highly. This is very highly contagious, and the bacteria is Bordetella pertussis bacteria, right? So through coughing and sneezing, this also gets spreaded. So these diseases are very highly contagious, right? So global initiative is to fight these diseases is called Gavi, created in 2000. Gavi is an international organization, a global vaccine alliance. So this is a global vaccine alliance. Its co-partners are WHO, UNICEF, and World Bank, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So this is what about Gavi is. Gavi is a global vaccine alliance which works against the diseases that is causing lots of deaths and morbidity. So let's move ahead and see what's the next topic is. So there is a question for you. So this is a question and you have to give me the answer to this question in the comment section. The question is like, Mission Indradhanush launched by the government of India pertains to. So what is Mission Indradhanush, right? So government of India launched in 2014, yes, 2014 launched Mission Indradhanush, which was against the viruses, and this is the mission which was to make available vaccines to the people. So this is against the viruses. So you have to give me the answer and in the comment section, right? So let's move ahead and go to the next section, which is kill switch. So there is a very catchy word, and sometimes UPSC goes for this word, so that's why I have covered this. It is related to Uber, which is very important. Why it is there? Because Uber had get this thing inbuilt, kill switch kind of thing in their system, in case if any law enforcing agency ever tried to access those documents, they just would have pushed that kill switch and all the data would have deleted immediately. So this is what kill switch is, and that's why this was in news, right? Next is something about the international news, and this is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Why this is here? Because okay, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, why this thing is in news? Because the next, this year, September 2022, Uzbekistan is going to host this summit, right? India is a member of SCO, and Iran and Belarus, these two countries are going to be the newest additions to the SCO, which makes it very important, Iran and Belarus, right? And this Samarkand, Uzbekistan is going to host this time the meeting, the summit, right? The next important thing is Varanasi has been selected as the SCO's first tourism and cultural capital. This makes this thing important, this news very important, that Varanasi has been chosen by SCO as the first tourism and cultural capital. Actually, it has been decided that on turn, every year there will be a different place from a different country that will be chosen for tourism and cultural, as a tourism and cultural capital, right? Varanasi has been decided under a new rotating initiative to promote people to people contacts and tourism among member states. India is going to be the next host of SCO summit. And let's see, we do not know where this SCO summit will happen, in which state or which place, but Varanasi, which is in news because it has been selected as the first tourism and cultural capital, and this is very important if you are going to write your exam next year. So this may be a question. Something more about SCO. It was created in 2001, and it is a Eurasian political, economic and military organization aiming to maintain peace, security and stability in the region. See, economic because they are going for some trade relationships, political because they also discuss some political matters, and military because there is something called RATS, which is here mentioned here, regional anti-terrorist structure, RATS. So for this thing, this becomes a military organization also to combat terrorism, separatism and extremism. So RATS is an organ of SCO, which is very important. You must know that what is RATS and where it is related to which organization it is related to. So that's why this RATS becomes important, and this is about SCO. Relevance for India. You see, if we go in look into the relevance for India, the SCO helps in bilateral talks, right? Bilateral talks, because what happens when few countries assemble together at a point for the summit, they can have a bilateral talk because all the state representatives are already present there. Like in 2014, Nawaz Sharif, our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi met Nawaz Sharif, right? PM Modi met Nawaz Sharif. And also in 2020, some years later, I exactly do not remember which year, but Prime Minister Modi again met the Chinese President Xi Jinping. So this is how these bilateral relationships happen, and this also helps us in anti-terrorist organizations, to fight terrorist organizations, and also in political and economic front. These things are also helpful for us. So this is all about SCO. So the important thing for you to remember is that it was created in 2001 something. It is important then that this year's 2022 summit will be held in Samarkand, which is in Uzbekistan. Iran and Belarus these two countries are going to be the newest addition to the SCO, and Varanasi has been selected as a tourism and cultural capital. Other members of this SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, are Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, India and Pakistan. So this you need to remember. The secretariat is at Beijing and the official language is Russian and Chinese, right? So these were the some important things about the SCO. Moving ahead and going to the next topic, which is Pythagoras. See, why this Pythagoras again is in news, because everyone is aware of this Pythagoras theorem, a square plus b square equals c square, which is c something here, a and b is like this. So some like 1000 years back, someone like Pythagoras gave us this formula, but the Karnataka government had decided to term this Pythagoras theorem as fake news, right? Fake news. Why? Because they are claiming that this Pythagoras theorem has already been mentioned in Buddhayan Sulba Sutra, which dates back to 800 BCE, right? 800 BCE. So that's why they claim that this theorem comes from the Buddhayan Sulba Sutra, but the Pythagoras theorem, as we all know, that it has come from Greek to us. So this is the tussle. So how do we know about the Vedic Indian mathematician knew this? Because this thing comes from 800 BC. I have just mentioned fire altars and fireplaces. Like if you have ever seen any Hindu puja, you must have seen this structure of fireplaces like this, and there are many structures are there. Sometimes they are like this also. So this is how they make these structures, right? And they knew how to draw a isosceles triangle or symmetric trapezia or rectangles. So that's why they claim that this thing has come from Sulba Sutra and not from a Greek Pythagoras called Pythagoras. That's why they have decided to term it as a fake news. So what is important for us? The first thing important for us is that Buddhayan Sulba Sutra, that this Pythagoras theorem has been taken from Buddhayan Sulba Sutra. So that is important, and next all these things are not that important for the exam point of view. Next is citizenship. Why this thing is important for us? Because over 1.6 lakh Indians renounced their Indian citizenship in 2021. What's the reason for this? It could be anything like better job opportunity, better life, better security, or sometimes what happens is that some younger generation moves to the different country, then older generation also follow because they do not want to live in India and they want to stay with their kids, like grandkids and son-in-law, daughter-in-law. So for this, all these things, migration is happening, and once they have decided to stay there forever, they just renounce the citizenship. So let's come to the citizenship. So it is mentioned in Article 5 to 11, which is in the Part 2 of the Constitution, which is important. You need to remember this thing, that citizenship is mentioned in Article 5 to 11, which is in Part 2 of the Constitution. Citizenship is mentioned in the Union list. So that means that only Parliament can make law regarding to this citizenship. Citizenship does not our Constitution does not define the term citizen. Means it does not define who is a citizen and who is a not, but it defines few categories. What category of person can be a citizen of India, what category of person cannot be a citizen of India. This has been mentioned in our Constitution, but Citizenship Act 1955 defines who can be a citizen of India. So in India we have 5 ways to attain the citizenship, which is birth, descent, registration, incorporation of territory, which is I think here it is 4 only. I think it was 5. There are 5 ways to acquire Indian citizenship, which is birth, descent, registration, incorporation of territory and naturalization. These 5 ways are to acquire Indian citizenship. To renounce the Indian citizenship, we have 3 ways, which is voluntary renunciation, which is like if you have decided to just stay there in any other country like USA, UK, Australia, Switzerland, any other country, you just voluntarily renounce your citizenship, because according to Indian law you any Indian citizen cannot have the citizenship of two different countries. So this is not possible, so they voluntarily do it. By termination, government can terminate your citizenship, and deprivation by government. So this is also these three ways are there in which you can renounce your citizenship. Then next topic is INS Sindhu Dhwaj. Why is this important? Because this INS submarine has been decommissioned after 35 years of service from Visakhapatnam. India acquired it from Russia in 1986. Present scenario, I like how many submarines we have now is that 7 Russian submarines we have, 4 German submarines we have, 4 French submarines we have, and 1 indigenous submarines, that is INS Arihant, which is a nuclear ballistic missile submarine. So in total 7, 4, 11, 4, 15, 1, 16 submarines we have, and 1 is being decommissioned, right? So right now we have 16 submarines. So this is for now. The next is Goal 2.0. So what is Goal 2.0? This is the by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs and Meta. Meta is the new name of Facebook, which we all know, I hope. So this is from by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. It was launched in 2020. It aimed at digital empowerment of tribal youth and women through the concept of mentor and mentee. So basically this scheme was there to improve the skill and level of skill development of the tribal people. The program is fully funded by Meta, the Facebook. Trainings were provided for 3 pillars, means 3 aims, objectives were there, which is communication skills and life skills, and enabling digital presence, like they teaching them digital education, giving them digital education, and leadership and entrepreneurship, like if they want to become a businessman or take part in any business activity, so they must be taught this leadership and entrepreneurship qualities. Next is very important, which is Gaganyaan. So see, this scheme, you must know that few things, like what are important here. Ministry of Tribal Affairs and Meta, like Meta is funding this scheme, and Ministry of Tribal Affairs is the ministry under which this scheme is being implemented. Launched in 2020, which is not important again. This is for the tribal people, for the tribal youth and women, through concept of mentor and mentee, and 3 pillars which are important. So I just have mentioned this. So we will move to the next topic, which is Gaganyaan. This one is very important. Gaganyaan is a mission by ISRO. Gaganyaan is scheduled to be launched in 2023, which got delayed because of pandemic and our last failed mission, which was on the Mars. Under Gaganyaan, 3 flights will be sent into orbit. 3 flights will be sent into orbit. There will be 2 unmanned flights and 1 human space flight. So out of these 3 flights, one will be human space flight and 2 will be unmanned. Gaganyaan will have 3 Indian astronauts, including a woman. 1 woman is also going there. The name is not known to us. The launcher is very, very important. Launcher that is going to be used is very important. Names are also important. If name is in the social media, on the internet, you must know this. And the launcher, which is GSLV Mark III, also known as LMV3 Mark III, you should know this thing. Training is going on in Russia. All the 3 people are being trained in Russia, and okay, so these things are important for us. So moving to the next is significance of Gaganyaan mission, which is very important but not important for the objective examination, but let's know something about this also. Enhancement of science and technology. Obviously, if any technical progress happens, this is for the enhancement of science and technology. Improvement of industrial growth, obviously, because the Gaganyaan will bring lot of private investment in the space technology, so this will also improve the industrial growth. Okay, international collaboration, which is like ISS, which is International Space Station, which is being run by few countries. If there is a democratic set, if many more countries are going to take part into this, that means more countries will bring lot of technological advancement, and more countries will develop take part into this development. So that's why this thing is very important. So international collaboration will happen. So recently government announced this new organization which is in space, which will reform and increase the private participation in space sector. See, in USA we have something called SpaceX, which is a private enterprise and run by Elon Musk. So that contributes a lot to the GDP of USA, because and also that private enterprise brings a lot of advancement, technological advancement. So on that front and on the same line, India is also trying to follow, and India has introduced in space, right? So this thing is also important for us, and few other things I have just highlighted. So these things are very, very important for you people. You see, right to repair is the next topic, and this topic is very important because the right to repair has been being discussed a lot in the other parts of the world, also in India also. The reason is that if you have a mobile phone and if it is 3 or 4 years old, and if you take it to the shop for any repairment or any other thing, it will cost you like 8,000 or 6,000. So this much of cost forces you to buy a new phone, right? So this is because the technology and the parts are not easily available to the local shopkeepers. So that's why the cost of getting that phone repaired is very high. So you usually what you do is you just dump your old gadget or any equipment and you go and buy the new one. The strategy is to make you buy more and more. So this strategy is being adopted by the companies, and the right to repair thing is against this strategy, right? So for this reason, lot of public intellectuals are pushing for this, and governments are also pushing for this, that we must be given the right to repair, right? So this thing is, let us see what all things are there in this topic. So the right to repair refers to the government legislation that is intended to allow consumers the ability to repair and modify their own consumers' electronic devices, where otherwise the manufacturer of such devices require the consumers to use only their offered services, right? So this is where the thing comes, like right to repair. So the idea originally originated in USA, where the Motor Vehicle Owners Right to Repair Act 2012. So this is important, but this thing will not come in your question probably, but still we should know all these things, that Motor Vehicle Owners Right to Repair Act 2012 required the manufacturers to provide the necessary documents and information to allow anyone to repair their vehicles. So this started in 2012 in USA, right? Global status is that right to repair has been recognized in many countries across globe like US, UK and European Union. Benefits: it will help boost business for small repair shops, which are an important part of the local economies. It will help reduce the vast mountain of electrical waste, because if you have an old gadget or any old equipment, you will not throw it away, you will use it for different, you will get it repaired and you will use it further. So that's how the waste will reduce. It will save consumers money, obviously, because we will eventually use our gadgets for a longer period of time. It will contribute to circular economy and will create a lot of jobs and opportunity. So that's why this right to repair thing is very important for us. And in India also we do not have right to repair. If this legislation comes in India also, it will be very, very useful for us also. So the thing is that this originated in USA. Few important things are like it originated in USA. The act was Motor Vehicle Owners Right to Repair Act 2012, which I just highlighted. Other parts of the world like US, UK and European Union has already recognized this right. So in India we should recognize this in India too. So this is how we will benefit. We all as a consumer will benefit from this, and small repair shops will get benefit. Electrical waste will reduce. We as a consumer will save money and it will contribute to circular economy. So the next topic, okay, so this is how this topic has ended. We'll follow few questions, and I hope you guys will, I urge you, I coax you to answer those questions in the comment section. And thank you for watching. I hope this video series, this lecture series being helpful for you people. So thank you for watching. Thanks a lot.